wake up. We are finally audio live.
Hello.
Hello.
Apologies.
Welcome to my podcast that I let these other people join also.
Thank you. I really appreciate your allowance of inviting us
Well,
on.
I'm generous.
You are the soul of generosity. Hello and welcome to the podcast Probability of Demise.
Probably gonna die.
PGD.
Probably gonna die. Okay. We are a tabletop role-playing gamer crew composed of pandemic friends. Our pod playing in a world of our own creation. Please forgive us for our puns and memes and other miscellaneous mistakes. And I enjoy your rules lawyering, but guess what? I probably won't pay attention to it. Here's looking at you, Hongsu.
Yes, looking at you.
We are having a blast with spring finally coming. Last week I was full of histamines without the anti, and now I have the antihistamines, but apparently everybody else is falling sick. We have colleagues and students and random people just collapsing left and right with normal everyday colds because we're not wearing our masks anymore. It's so exciting to see normal colds.
Think for yourself. Also,
So exciting to get sneezed on by a stranger on the subway.
you barely go anywhere. I'm not sure what you're
It's
whining
true.
about.
I don't leave my house. I'm just kidding.
And it's his podcast because he's the shut-in now.
Yeah.
Because I could turn it on any time of day. I'm just gonna go live at 3 p.m. on a Thursday and just be like, start rolling dice and doing things. Like, hey everybody, I got the whole party killed. Sorry.
Rolling dice and doing things.
Honestly, that sounds kind of cool.
That's a T-shirt right there.
Yeah.
If we ever get merch, rolling dice and doing things.
Calling copyright right now.
I need to take a picture
unless a
of
fan
like,
wants to make us a
that.
T-shirt, then we won't copyright it.
I don't think we're at the stage of having merch, but we might be at the stage of, well, we are definitely at the stage of getting gifts from fans because
Yeah.
our Andy fan, which is, I think, somewhat
Not to be confused with the only.
Yeah.
Hey,
Please follow our other account on Andy Fans. It's a very different type of role-playing game.
I'm not the DM for that one.
No, we hired her.
That hurts. And one of my
Max works
students
his
is going to
legal work.
watch this. I'm glad that this is my last year there. All right. Larissa, Jason, do you have any announcements and other things along those lines?
Yes.
I have joined the Stonewall Corral again.
What?
I
Welcome
did.
back.
Yeah. So next time Larissa does a Stonewall Corral promotion, I will also be singing in that concert. So if you don't like her but you love me, you can still come.
That's fair.
So now they're getting you at both ends.
That's what she said.
I just realized what I was saying. I had to smirk and then I couldn't stop myself and I was trying not to laugh. I apologize.
Anyways. On May 22nd, which is a Sunday, Melodia Women's Chorus will be performing their spring summer season concert, which will be comprised of folk music, a little bit of pop thrown in there. There's a gospel piece. We are still a fully what's the word, a volunteer chorus, but you know we try to perform some pretty high caliber stuff. So if you enjoy choral music, especially for treble voices, make sure to come check us out. You can find out more information at Melodia Women's Chorus of nyc.org.
Org.
And I know we're going to have a whole 3 hours to forget this in, but can you
Chinese food
Can I what?
is
can
coming
you
to
send
feed
me the link this time?
I will do it right now.
Can you? Yeah, go faster.
So we ordered food, of course, so we're gonna get a little bit of doggo motion.
Woo!
But hey puppies, come on, let's hang out. Come be on camera. if you're gonna bark, be on camera. We have to take advantage of your cuteness for increasing our viewership.
Hang on.
Doggy casts get more views. No, I'm recruiting you for doggy cast. Man. Well, apologize for
The
that.
good news is one of my dogs is crazy, but the other one is also crazy.
There, good. Good Willow. Hi, Willow. Hi, Willow. Willow. See that viewership count up right now? I'm sure it is. Can't even look. Oh, get the licks in the camera.
She lives here.
All right.
As you can see, we've been attacked by those wolves again. We have sound effects now.
The sound effects are now available by all the monsters, and then the groaning monsters outside with the motorcycles of Inwood. We are so easily triggered. We are also coming up on today our 10th episode, which it wouldn't be a milestone except it is. I know I'm right. I'm not always right, but I'm right now because I wrote it in as the episode number last week when I pre-posted. And while this isn't a huge mile marker in terms of viewership or anything else like that, it's actually just kind of cool that we've stuck with something, you know?
We're easily distracted if you haven't noticed.
It's very helpful. So thank you for hanging out with us or catching up with us if you're in either of those boats, the hanging or the catching. It has definitely been fun for us, and it's been a creative outlet that hopefully will spawn more creative outlets. I think at least two, if not all three of us, maybe all four when Jess is here, have really benefited from this opportunity to kind of like reinvigorate our creative.
I'm not saying we're the next Forgotten Realms, but we're the next Forgotten Realms.
Our creative efforts. I lost track. That was hilarious. In D&D news, it's all over the interwebs that the flying ships shall return. Spelljammer is coming soon, and if you don't know what Spelljammer
Is that the
is,
space one?
yeah, it's D&D in space, which it's not a sci-fi adventure. It is literally take all the D&D stuff and put it on magical contrivances, so it's a fantasy in space sort of thing. A lot from how I used to play it before, it's basically kind of a constant bounty quest sort of. You're space pirates, not Treasure Planet. People liken it to Treasure Planet a lot, but I don't think it actually fits that Treasure Planet motif. It definitely has its own little realm, and it's something that I definitely have enjoyed. So if you're into that, great. You may see some elements sometime in the future where I've seeded components of this in this world in case we decide to go off in that direction, but it is not necessary or our intention to go off in Spelljammer land. But I'm really excited about the book.
Asher in space.
All right. So last time we were together, we experienced.
We all got naked. It was weird. That didn't happen.
That definitely did not happen. We got to experience the moment where the largest presence of guards was dispatched with a combination of fighting and mage shows of power. Actually, honestly, I would
Murder and mages.
I would actually describe it as overpowered individuals flexing their power. And we'll see what that type of display has as consequences in the future, I'm sure. Because, as we all know, overt displays of super powerful power all work out really well in the end.
Great power comes great arrogance.
Pretty much. So we're starting off here with the closing of the guard. The guard is dispatched. We kind of ended at the end of a longer encounter battle between originally Trixie and a few guards, and then Asher came in, and then as they wrapped up their kind of focal quarrel of our storytelling, sorry, I can't open this without making lots of noise.
Just do it. Just rip off the band-aid.
I like to go slow. It feels better this way. Don't you like when you
That's what she
stretch the
said.
whole thing out? Just pop it 1 inch at a time until finally it's all released. I need to sleep more. Jason's using a napkin. Don't know why. So
I don't know what's happening.
I'm giggling at nothing. My sense of humor is clearly corrupted. But so that's the situation that you're currently in. It's closing in on evening of this day. What y'all up to? You kind of looted some corpses in a building.
Yeah. I'm asleep.
You just
I need sleep.
curled up in the building that you're in.
If I remember correctly.
You were laying on the ground in the middle of the battlefield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was doing.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep doing that until somebody tells me otherwise.
Is there a way to get up on top of the buildings?
Roll a quick perception check.
$22.
You can make out a few different ways depending on which building you're trying to get up on. You're trying to get up on the larger building that kind of stands as separate from the rest of the buildings. There's a trellis going up. It looks like it's eminently climbable, and then you kind of make your way up the roof peaks. The other buildings are built really close together, and you note several places where crates, some that look like they've been weathering the weather for quite a while, but crates are stacked up in interesting configurations that just offer you an opportunity to get up on top of the more closely connected buildings. So
The trellis goes up the tallest building?
the tallest building that is somewhat separate from the rest of the buildings. Yeah,
I'm
this
gonna
is
go up that.
this is the one where you found a lot of stuff.
I'm gonna crawl up the tall building.
All right, yeah, you climb up. You're up on top. You can definitely see the square on the interior, muddied up space. So old cobbles on the other side of the square where it looks like there was an attempt to lay down a more permanent road at some point in the past. And then if you're turning around, you can actually look out towards and see the lake off in the distance, kind of glimmering as the sun
Is
is.
there people like moving around out there?
I'm gonna ask you to roll another perception check to see what you see.
22. Same roll.
Sweet, wow. Not immediately close to where you're at are there any people, but as you look further, you can make out less distinctly, but the motion of activity.
The music's still going.
Oh no.
Aww. Why is that so loud?
Oops. Thanks, Andy.
Thank you, Andy. That's annoying. But you can make out the motion of people in the distance. You can't quite make out the dock area. There's just interference between the other buildings and such. But peeking through the various hardscape of the town, you make out people moving here and there, but nobody quite close. Nobody within reach of the square, at
So
least.
if I was to like start yelling, nobody would hear me.
You go for it. Yell. I mean, think from your stance and from what you can see, nobody would immediately make out.
I'm gonna yell out, "People of Fisherton, lend me your ears."
Okay.
I'm gonna wait and see if anybody like responds to that, comes out.
I mean, you didn't say clap if you can hear me, so you asked them to listen to you. Just saying.
You don't see any reaction for a while.
All right. It's gonna be like, you can have your town square back. The guards are gone, and I'm just gonna like crawl back down. I'm not gonna waste my beautiful speech on people that probably can't hear me.
All right, you have a prone, stubborn squirrel.
Prone, stubborn,
I'm not going to
tired-
get up until somebody
Prone,
tells me
stubborn,
squirrel.
tired, and significantly injured squirrel. So
You're kind of beat up still. I forgot about that. Is there like an inn in this town? Because we've been imposing on that bookshop for an awful long time. I mean, granted, in game time it's like one day, but it feels like a long time.
It's been a couple of days. So you've had a couple of overnights out in the woods in the bookshop. Roll. I'm going to say it's a history check about like, because you've wandered through town enough that you should have spotted something if you saw it. If we're going off of memory, that's what you would be going off of right now.
18.
You've seen places that look like lodging, but nothing as formal or as nice as like what you grew up in. These are more the places where workers, fishermen who are single,
Like boarding houses. Kind of.
boarding house kind of, temporary lodging, travelers coming through who are planning to stay a
Motel.
little while, but not anything as nothing with a ton of rooms or spaces. These places all have to function under multiple jobs. So there's a drinking hall that has a couple of spaces that people can roll out bedrolls in the middle of the floor. There's a boarding house with a cranky old lady who constantly kicks her own cat. That sort of vibe that you've seen.
All right. Which one is closest to the bookshop?
I think the cranky old lady's place is probably the
Which
closest.
one is next closest to the bookshop? We do have 3 small cats.
I almost forgot. Closer to the docks, you did note that there's a drinking hall that seemed to have people who are there all the time. So it must have some sort of place to stay.
I'm gonna wake Trixie up. Be like, hey, let's go to that tavern by the docks and see if we can get a room there.
okay, and I like.
We're about equally beat up. I was just looking at your
Peeking.
character sheet.
Yeah, so yeah, easily enough you make your way through town. Again, there's a surprising number of people who are very solicitous towards you, but they can see that you're
Like-
not.
As we go, I'm just gonna be like, town square is free now. Town square is free now. You can have the town square back now. Guards are gone. Town square is good.
Cool. Spreading that news faster. You make your way to
I'll
the.
leave out the part about all the dead bodies they need to clean up before they get it truly in working order again.
You get to what is a drinking establishment that definitely is not the barge people's drinking establishment. It's definitely the fishing people's drinking establishment. There's a distinction between the two crews of people that you probably remember from being on the docks with them. There's a distinct, like, we're a crew of folk, and our profession defines us, and we're a crew of folk, and our profession defines us. And it's fairly warm and cozy inside. There's old nets that never were mended or mendable, hung up as some sort of trophy, here and there in different locations, and every once in a while, oddly enough, there's kind of admiring glances tossed that way.
Was one of them torn by a giant crab?
And as you kind of make your way into the space, there's maybe 12 people seated around a loose semicircle of stools closer to the fire. 4 or 5 of them are actively working at mending a net, but they have drinks close to hand or so around them. It looks like a very casual environment.
Is there like somebody who's clearly like in charge or like a bartender
It's
or
not obvious.
server?
And nobody has really looked up to you either. They've all, even on your entrance, been pretty consumed with their own task.
Okay. I'm just gonna be like, hello.
3 heads peek up and a bunch of others covertly. The furry one. These are the heroes. And you just kind of hear the whispers.
Hi, we're just looking for somewhere to sleep. Is it? Can we can we rent a room
Well,
or a bunk?
a woman who was very busy, and kind of like reacts much more slowly than everybody else does. Everybody else is kind of whispering, kind of looks up from her mending. And, yeah, if you don't mind waking up early. Okay. I'll draw a curtain for you and set you up. Are you together or separate?
We could either whatever's most convenient.
Well, there's 3 of us, and
There's 3 of you. I see 2.
We have to go get our friend.
she's with our pets.
All right. You have pets too? All right. Oh.
But they have their own cage, so
They can stay
they
where
can
they are. I think.
I guess it depends. How far is where we are from the bookshop?
I mean, you kind of walked by the area where the bookshop was, but not by the bookshop. It would have required a little bit of a detour to get there.
Maybe we can just move their cage outside here, so they're at least closer.
Okay.
What kind of pets are you talking about?
They're cats.
Oh, cats are fine. Oh, please bring them in. We have a couple of cats, but they seem to have gotten scarce lately, and not sure why. Ever since that incursion of those larger monstrosity style cats, I guess you call them. And so I'm just afraid that we might regain a rodent problem we finally stamped down. So please bring your cats. That'd be lovely.
I don't know if they're good at killing rodents, but they could try.
Yeah, we know they like fish so far, but they're still pretty young.
Oh,
They're still babies.
well, as long as they do their business outside, that's all right.
Well, that's what the cage is for. We found that out the hard way. Sorry, I've never had a pet before, so a little bit of a learning curve. But I think we're getting it.
We're getting better at it.
All right. As long as you're all getting better at it. Yeah. Go ahead. So since you're gonna go get your friend and your pets, I'll draw the curtain. 3 spaces.
Yeah, I mean I think we're fine to bunk together.
I think so.
And
1 space.
One space, 3 beds, or
Well, they're here. Let me show you. Frank, do you mind if I show your place? One of the people just like their eyes wide, big saucers, looking at both of you. They look kind of young. And
Like,
she walks up
thanks,
to.
Frank.
No, it's just getting bigger. He kind of crouches down and curls up around his mending and just keeps working at his net. But she gestures you over to what looks like just along the wall a little curtained alcove. And she pulls aside the curtain and you see inside it's just a cot, very simple cot. It looks like there's a chest of some sort that have personal belongings, and there's a few other personal belongings. Looks like some clothes hung up to dry. Looks like rough outdoor weather gear, probably from when this individual was just recently out harvesting whatever they could harvest from the lake. It's a simple Spartan thing, but there's not a ton of privacy with a curtain. They seem to be stout curtains, but there's no true sense of you are going to be in a private space.
I guess individual spaces.
Yeah. If you don't have 3 cots in one inside of one curtain, then we'll just take 3 spaces, I guess.
Oh, I can set you up with 3 cots.
That's fine. Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, but I think we'd prefer to be
Yeah,
together.
we don't want to take up more room than we need to. So
That's mighty considerate of y'all. Yeah, okay. Will you be going out to sea?
Now I'm not sure what we're gonna do.
We
I
don't-
think we.
we have to go after our friend who already left town. But
Wait, the third person isn't.
No,
Fourth
we had a
friend.
fourth person,
fourth person.
but apparently, according to her, she was taken. But,
Wow, you heroic types really live brazenly.
Yeah.
it wasn't. Well, obviously, it wasn't planned, but yeah, we're still not sure. But that's why, or anything like that. So we were figured we would at least stay here and try to take care of everything that we could here to help before heading out, because they're like we have beyond the name of
Oh, I
where
heard you
they're
took care of the
headed.
river problems, and I'm so excited. As soon as that stuff clears out through the lake, fishing will return to normal. I am so excited.
We also just kicked the guards out of the town square. The bad guards, if you want to spread that around, that people can go back to the town square if they want to.
How'd you do that?
Violence mostly.
Well,
You said you kicked them out. Does that mean they're all dead?
I tried.
A few of them, yes.
I tried to do their whole fighting club thing, and they wouldn't let me participate. So I
Well,
just
of course
sat
not.
there.
You're not part of their gang.
So I just sat there, and then when they tried to move me, or actually, didn't they try to shoot me?
Yes.
I don't know if heroics is brave or crazy.
I think it's a little bit of both.
We also had some help, but
All right. Well, if we don't invite you to our fishing tournament, you're not going to kill us, are you?
No,
no.
we just
We just wanted you to have your town back. Like those people were bad and like robbing people and doing not godly things.
I'm gonna have to go talk to some people. The consequences of this are gonna be big. Y'all realize, right?
well, we already let. I keep picking up your accent.
Oh, it's okay. That it happens to most of my folk. That's why. Hey, Frank. And the kid kind of picks up. Yes, ma'am. That's not his accent, but he picked it up from me pretty quick.
I
Right as rain.
Whoop, hang on. Got a beagle down here. There we go.
Beagle retrieval.
Mm.
New spell.
Today on My British Beagle. Nope, can't remember what I was gonna say. It's
What?
gone.
Well, I apologize for distracting you as I did, but we're gonna have to think
we
about
already
this.
let people in Overton know. Well, at least some people, like my dad, who's in charge of part of the guard, and not the guards that the mayor sent. That the guards here were not great and asked for help. So hopefully, I don't know when it's going to happen. Hopefully, he will send help in one form or another, whether it's someone to train new guards or it's new guards themselves. But I trust him to help. But yeah, so
What?
and in terms of the mayor, he's an idiot. So
Also, the wizard Nee participated in helping us shoo those guards away. So I think he's looking out for you as well. He's an old friend of mine.
I appreciate y'all being here. I'm hoping you're planning on sticking around, because this is messy. But I do need to go talk to some folk,
okay.
because this is gonna change a few things.
Well, okay.
But here, I'll set you up. Stay here. We'll take care of you.
Well,
We leave early before dawn. But we'll leave some stew cooking, and you can partake and enjoy. And
Stew.
You'll like it. She hasn't had a lot of food of different types.
well, it's not very varied here either. It's gonna be a fish chowder of some sort. That's
Well,
all.
her people only eat
Chowder.
nuts. So
What's chowder? Is that
Well,
a type
we
of
don't
fish?
have nuts, but I can get some for you if you
No, no,
want.
no.
Ooh, I'm good. I've had my fill of nuts forever. Leave it alone.
Well, I'm not sure what I'm leaving alone, but I'll go ahead and make sure it's a nut-free chowder for you. I don't think we even know what. She kind of like starts busying her muttering, but she's starting to clearly pull together a corner of the room into another nook.
yeah, I'm just gonna be like, if you leave food, that's great, but we can find something on our own too in the morning, like whatever's best for you. You don't have to do that. We just need somewhere to rest, and we've been imposing on our friends in the bookshop for too long.
Oh, all right. Yeah, y'all do what you need to do, and I'll if I'm not here, it'll be here. Look for the pink curtain. I think that's what we're down to, right? Pink curtain? Yeah, that's what we're down to. And she just starts muttering to herself as she's busy working.
Aw,
Okay.
Tanzanite would like that it's pink.
Hope she's all right.
I really don't know what to do because I don't God dang it. I don't know where. Damn you, neurodivergence.
Good thing you were-
Would it help if I had a couple little lovely come along and tickle your fancy with a new one?
No, because then that'll start creeping out too.
Oh, Jesus Christ, have you tried the fish stew? It's delicious.
Great. Let's not offend anyone too badly.
It's okay.
That
I have
may
a
be
friend
listening.
in Glasgow. We're from Glasgow.
It doesn't mean you won't offend anybody else.
Who'd probably be offended by how terrible that accent was.
Yeah, exactly. Anywho, I really don't know what. I don't know where Cannonville is, or how to get there. I don't know how far away it is, and how. I don't know what we're gonna do. Like, I don't know if we need I don't know if we can sail there. I don't know if we can't sail there, then what are we gonna have to just walk?
I know. Well, right now, I think we're both bleeding a little bit. We have to get our cats, get our stuff, and then get some rest. And maybe in the morning we can figure it out. Like we're not doing Tanzanite any good, like bleeding all over the floor right here. So,
Yeah, I suppose not.
all right. So we are going to head to the bookshop.
Awesome. Without any need. I mean,
Oh, wait. Shoot. No, Bonnie was not with the cats. Were you just waiting for me to remember?
I didn't know.
I mean,
He wasn't there.
You were here. Asher wasn't. That's not what. That's me, not Trixie.
I thought you sent her back. I didn't remember.
No.
They didn't take her, did they?
Oh,
they did take
people did take her.
her.
Well,
Our
shit.
friends keep getting stolen.
As we go to walk out, like, you just see Trixie go,
What?
Bonnie. Not with the cats. She was with me at the town square.
Uh-oh.
Shit.
Okay, let's go to the bookstore and make sure she's not there. Like maybe she made her way back there.
That's very, very optimistic of you. Considering, well, you go check there. I'm gonna go back to the town square and see if I can figure out if I can find like footprints or something in whatever's left. God dang it! Why does this keep happening?
Split the party. All right.
yep.
Okay, I'm gonna go to the bookstore and look for Bonnie.
All right. So you're off to the bookstore. You're off to the town square.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to handle this by starting with you.
Mm-hmm.
What is it? What does this look
See
like?
a pool of fish blood.
Well, I'm gonna go back to the moment where I like told her to stay back and look for footprints specifically to see if I can figure out what hers look like. And whether there's either drag marks or footprints of hers, like of a fight leading away from the center of
Roll
the circle.
a survival check to see if you're able to find your friend's footprints.
Oh, that's probably not going to be very good. 12?
No. So I'm not just saying no.
I
You
know.
look,
I know.
and unfortunately, as you're looking, you're realizing there's a ton of trample marks back and forth, and the mud is dried and loosened and gotten wet and dried again so many times that the new tracks are hard to make out. And then as you look for new tracks, you keep finding tracks of beings that are not Bonnie.
Is there anybody around?
I'm at the town square. Still nobody. It's kind of a no person's land.
Okay, so of the tracks that are at least not Bonnie's, which are the freshest, and which way are they headed?
The freshest ones walk right into the middle of the town square and into a couple of corpses that are starting to gather flies.
Okay, what about, like, just in that area where I was, like, is there anything that... Okay, so let me go back to that area and then look at where there would be, like, exits or storefronts that aren't, like, blocked off. Because I know they were kind of inhabiting ones, or I guess if there's any lights or anything, even if it's not signs of necessarily movement, but like where someone could be hiding out. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, this is mostly boarded up or repurposed, and it's very obvious, like where there was a store, it's been turned into a crash pad of some sort. The only thing that looked like it operated at all was kind of a bit of a mess hall sort of situation, but it's clear that they took the provisions from somewhere else and they kind of self-served, mostly booze. And you can kind of see from the outside that that's kind of what you're facing, the series of former shops, broken out glass, broken doors, some shoddily repaired doors, creating temporary spaces, but it doesn't look particularly.
Fan is still on.
It's okay. It's not being picked up right now.
Sorry, ADHD. What?
Yes, it's not particularly. Inviting or obvious, a place that might have been. There's also some alleyways between a couple of locations where eaves overhang to completely shadow the alleyways.
Can I start like peeking my head in those, kind of like systematically trying to
Yeah.
check
Go
the
ahead
fresher
and,
tracks?
and roll an investigation check, and then I'm gonna probably pause that for a little bit and go back over here.
9.
Okay. You make your way to the bookshop. You actually get there before she gets to the location she's at, but I needed to get through that
Well,
piece
that's a good
first.
roll. 9.
It was a fine roll.
Slightly below average.
What do you do? What you
Almost
arrive
hit
at the
that one.
bookshop?
I'm just gonna like stick. Is that window still open?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna like go inside. Or is the door open? I'm gonna go inside and be like, "Hey, is Bonnie here?"
There's a little bit of silence, and then Fawn. She kind of looks over, and you can't see anybody behind the counter, And she can't either. No, nobody came back. Are you here for your cats?
In a little bit, we're gonna go stay at the lodge by the where the fishermen sleep.
Oh, you're
To-
not gonna
to-
be here?
Well, we want to get out of your way. We've been,
Oh, that's
and our
so-
cat's kind of, so we're gonna go stay somewhere else so you can have your space back. But we got in a big fight with the guards, and they're gone now from the town square.
She just keeps blinking at you, listening to you.
But I guess that Bonnie was grabbed by some guards, and we don't know where they would take her. Any ideas?
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know. Why do you want to find Bonnie? She flips her hair a little bit.
Isn't she like,
When did this happen?
isn't she like 12 or 10 or something?
Have you met 12-year-olds?
Because she's my traveling companion and friend.
Oh, yeah. Well, I've been trying to wake up one of your cats, and it's not waking up.
I'm gonna like run around to where the cats are. Is it like dead?
You come up, and the cat just seems to be sleeping. You can see that it's breathing. But go ahead and roll a medicine check to see what. This is going to be my favorite line of the day. This is the word of the day coming up.
13. That's lucky.
It's catatonic.
All right. Thanks for tuning in, folks. We'll be back next week.
No, you.
Oh,
I've been waiting 3 weeks to be able to use that line. Let me have it.
I mean, you're the DM. Who's going to tell you no?
So you see the cat that was bonded to Bonnie seems to be unconscious in a strange way. Like if you pick up a cat that's sleeping, it reacts. And this one just kind of rolls and lays as you set it. Once you set it down, especially with the 13, it does make itself comfortable again after a while, but it seems so passive to anything you do to it, like it's been drugged.
Please keep an eye on the cats for a little longer. I have to find our friend, and I'll come back.
Okay. Is it okay?
Yeah, it is. I think. Okay. So there's a whole thing. The cat and Bonnie are magically connected. So if the cat won't wake up, it means that Bonnie's probably unconscious somewhere. So we have to find her.
Oh. And you can see like her crappy, childish attempts at flirtation just fall away. I hope she's okay.
Yeah, me too. Okay, bye. Then I'm gonna like book it for the town square.
Awesome. So as you're kind of investigating these spaces, popping into the different rooms, looking around, it isn't long as you're trying to like poke into these places, and it's a frustrating experience. The former guards were chased away, so a lot of their random garbage is left behind.
Great.
Nothing of interesting value, really. Maybe interesting to people who live here who could like recoup bed linens and other things like that.
I would be like stage whispering Bonnie's name, like just to, in
Yeah.
case she's just like stashed somewhere and can hear me.
I would say that like at some point as you come up, you actually can hear the stage whispered, Bonnie.
Bonnie,
Bonnie!
Jesus, warn a gal, would ya?
What fun is that?
Next time, I'm just gonna hit you.
Okay, so the cat, Bonnie's cat, is unconscious and won't wake up.
Shit. But it's like it's not sick. It's just asleep.
Like it's drunk or drugged or
Fuck.
yeah.
Think. I'm not good at this tracker thing. I thought I was better at it, but I don't
Me either.
I don't know. No, that wouldn't work.
What?
I might be conflating campaigns. Do I have a rock? A talking rock, or is that another campaign?
That's a
Damn
different campaign.
Rock.
Sending stones. Everybody thinks they need them.
Well, I guess.
I want to timestamp that because I want to keep that as an outtake. Do I have a talking rock? No.
I didn't say, do I have a talking rock? I said, do I have a rock that I can talk to people, like, that I
That's
can
not
talk
what you
through?
said. You
What?
said, "Do I have a talking rock?"
Do I say that? Did I say that? Oh,
bad.
sorry. That's not how it was formulated in my brain to come out.
I didn't know what you meant until Rourke said "speaking stone."
Sending stone? Yeah. Damn it.
Speaking stone,
You're talking to rocks. I
talking
love this
rock,
campaign
speaking
already.
stones.
It's my pet rock. Shut up. His name is Steve.
Canon, official. Trixie has a pet rock named Steve.
Shut up, Steve. I don't care what they say about you. You're a good pal.
Oh,
You never talk back.
this game rocks.
I hate you. That's so bad. So bad.
I'm actually kind of worried that our audience is going to think we're all stoned, so can we?
Ah. No, we're just all high on life naturally. That's
Not
the scary
today.
part. No, if y'all want to see me
She
get
missed that one. That's nice.
No, Larissa would giggle for 3.5 straight minutes.
yeah.
Larissa thinks my puns are hilarious when she's stunned.
Hmm. That would be such a problem. I'm trying to think if there's anybody. Maybe we can find someone that does what Tanzanite does. Maybe we can find someone else to help us track her down.
Maybe. You could ask those guards that arrested me. I probably shouldn't go back over there.
Well, I don't know if they're good at trackers. Like maybe like a hunter or something. I mean, there's woods all around. Well, this is more of a fishing town. Well, okay, maybe we go. I go to the guards and ask them if they can help, and if not, maybe they can point me in the direction of like someone who can.
Okay. If they ask, tell them I left town.
Okay.
Now you can tell them the truth. But I'm definitely not going back to jail.
Okay. Maybe I just won't bring it up unless they do. Where do I go?
I think all of the good guards are at the jail. And I'm going to point, like, give her directions to the...
Okay.
Because that's what I was asking for. Was directions to the jail.
And
And you been? I hadn't.
You've both been in the town a little bit now, and you kind of, with the directions, even though you haven't been to this location, you think you know where it's at, so that's not a problem.
Okay.
And if you're heading off that way right now, I'll fast forward. What
Yeah.
are you up to?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm going to look around this area as well, just to see if I can catch anything that she might have missed. Like, looking for...
Describe
traces.
what you're looking for, or how you're looking.
Hang on. First I'm going to say, I hope I haven't used this one before because I'm trying not to use them twice, but I don't have it crossed out and I feel like I might have. I'm going to say, "Oh, magic butler," or whatever you might be, "could use your help here. I'm going to summon my unseen servant."
Okay.
And I'm going to say, "Can you find Bonnie?"
Can you read me the description of what Unseen Servant does again? This might be cheats, folks.
This spell creates an invisible, mindless, shapeless medium force that performs simple tasks at your command until the spell ends. The servant springs into existence in an unoccupied space on the ground within range. Blah, 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 blah. Each returns as a bonus action. You can mentally command the servant to move 15 feet. Simple tasks that a human servant could do, such as fetching things, cleaning, mending, folding clothes, lighting fires, serving food and pouring wine. Once you give the command, the servant performs a task to the best of its ability until it completes the task, then waits for your next command.
Okay.
Oh no.
Could you roll an intelligence check -5?
Oh.
I believe.
Come on, Nat 20. Come on.
Ooh.
19 or 14.
Okay. Your unseen servant starts circling and making bigger and bigger spirals. And wherever you move, it stays within this range that it can't seem to leave. But it's giving you, if it happens to run across body, a wider.
I'm going to do what it's doing, but on a larger scale. I'm going to begin to loop my way around the town square and just keep walking in wider circles and let it circle me while I circle the town square.
So
Weird form of radar.
a planet being orbited by its moon. Clear. Okay.
Worst radar impression in the world.
I think your task is a little hampered by the number of people at first who come up and just, oh, you're. And then as you kind of move on,
I will also enjoy that, and I'll also tell every one of them.
Baseline for what this does.
Oh, it's on that one. God damn it.
No, that's a 7. Isn't
That's
it?
a 1.
Is it? Oh. Son of a biscuit.
Yeah, it's late. People are tired. A couple of them start to look, and then as people do who don't really want to do something, they just quietly fade off into the night because they're all tired.
Yeah, man, I got you. I'll just look over here real quick.
Yeah. It might be over by the wharf. I'm going to go check because that's water. And then they walk the wrong direction.
Rude.
You make your way over to the jail facility. Like I described before, it's kind of one of the few substantial buildings, stone and such. And the door is closed, but you can see up above the door there is a light from a second level.
I'm gonna knock.
It takes a bit. And you see, fully dressed in all their gear,
Thank God.
a stout fellow until you hear their voice. We're not long for this place, so if you have business, we've turned everyone out.
Well, wait, why?
Well, if the town doesn't turn against us, those who are no longer of the guard will definitely be turning against the town. That's the way of things, so we have to clean up and...
Well, why don't you stay and help us fight them?
Look, I don't know who you are.
I'm Trixie. A couple of your friends know me. They brought my friend here earlier. I'm actually not sure.
Oh, you're one of those. You can see her face just falls. You're the reason why we're leaving now.
But that's what I don't understand. Why not?
Have you seem young. Maybe you don't really understand the consequences of what has happened are that there are now a bunch of individuals who are going to run around like idiots for a day or two out in the woods, and then they're going to gather their wits and realize it's much easier to take apart the town from without than from within. There are now bandits in the woods. This is
okay.
hell.
So I will go. Me and my friends will go take care of them, and then will you stay?
Sweetie,
This is
having people do what you've done, from what I've been told, and what your friend did, from what I've been told, this is the reason why I do not live in places like Overton. Big splashes of power, then leaves everyone to their own devices.
I'm not leaving. We want to help. We want to make sure things are okay before we leave.
You still said that you're leaving.
Eventually, we had a friend that got kidnapped. We have to go rescue her. But if you want us to take care of the bandits and then get it so that things are peaceful before we leave, will you stay then?
Just delaying the inevitable.
Wow.
Big splashes of powers.
I didn't realize y'all were
Then
such
you
cowards.
abandoned everyone.
We're not. I'm
Because
right
you
here.
don't care, and we won't be doing this anymore.
The-
We've had
wow.
to deal with it too many
The
times. in
whole
too many
reason I'm
places.
here, the whole reason we're here is because we
we're
care.
already packed up. I
Wow.
appreciate your efforts, but best of luck.
Wow, you really are a coward. That's impressive. I'm younger than you and I'm braver than you. That's really sad.
Sweetie, I'm so much older than you even know.
Oh, no, obviously. Because you feel the need to run away.
You'll learn that running is often the only choice when faced with uneven odds.
So the fact that I
Fairly
beat up
well,
the
young
guard-
one, and you can
Wow.
just hear the click
Wow.
as she shuts the...
I'm going to try to kick the door down.
No.
Roll your attack.
Are you going to call that cocked or no?
I can't tell. It's on your tray, and I can't see very well.
Yeah.
I don't know,
I
because
don't
the
know
sides
I don't know what it is. Just tell me what it is.
It's a flat 16 with my unarmed attack. God dang it. I think that would make it a 23.
Okay. That definitely is going
Unarmed
to
strike.
hit.
23.
Roll damage.
That time that a 3-foot squirrel kicked in your door.
Oh, roll damage. Sorry. Give me a second.
Roll another d20 just for
I'm
the
full
damage.
full
You're like
bent
a
on
All
uber,
things. Roll all the things.
uber muscly squirrel.
8.
Yeah, you smack the door. You can hear splintering. It's not breaking open. It's not broke. It's not. Can't say words.
It's not busted.
It's not busted. And
It's
you get
not
the feeling
busted.
that behind the wood is some sort of metal bracketing.
Yeah. I really thought y'all were better than this. Otherwise, I wouldn't have bothered, I guess. But all right, good luck wherever you end up, because you certainly aren't going to be welcome here when I let the townsfolk know what you did. I'm not sure how what you're doing is any better than what I did. I'm staying and you're leaving, so sounds a little hypocritical to me. Best of luck. I walk back to the town square.
Okay.
Still looping with my moon. My invisible moon.
How long are you gonna loop with your invisible moon for?
How big
Things
is
you
the
only say in D&D.
I would say that it's probably gonna take you 4 hours to kind of really scour the whole town. So kind of a couple of resummonings of your unseen servant before you really scour the town. I mean, you could do it ritually, so you could perform for the full 4 hours, but it's late into the night if that's what you're gonna do. And it's already getting late.
I mean, I would
Like-
keep an eye out for him on the way back if I
Yeah.
ended up, if I run into him, then I would just kind of
Let's-
join.
We'll roll a chance die. Why don't you roll a D100 and you run a D100, and if you're within 10 points of each other, you run into each other.
Oy. Okay.
That's a joyful way to do it.
Yep, and the other one.
Yep, both the flying saucers together.
71.
64. So close. Wait, no, we are.
No. we
Yeah,
are.
you run into each other.
I can't
Yeah.
do math. Hi.
Hi, counting. I mean, you had a 20-point spread that you could have been on, so it wasn't like an impossible
Wait,
thing.
10 points within
Within
each other.
10 points of each other, that means from the middle of somebody's roll to the middle of the other person's roll, you have like kind of 20 points that you could have worked with up and down.
Okay.
So if you
That was
look,
a 10-point spread, not just a 10-point spread.
because if it was 10 point, it would be only 5 points away from each other. It's 20-point spread. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Bath.
I'm not sure I agree with that, but okay.
So you run into each other. You can see him with his spiraling. Well, you can't see that spiraling invisible, so you just see him kind of spiraling through the streets and walking through the different areas.
Hi.
Hi. The guards are shit. They're leaving because they're scared.
Told you.
You're the one that said I should go ask them for help.
I did, but I didn't expect them to help. They're cowards. They're not easily swayed. I'm pretty good at convincing people to do things, and
I wasn't even just trying to convince them to help. They just...
Anyway, let's go this way because I'm looking for Bonnie. I'm just gonna keep walking and talking.
Okay. So
could both of you just roll a quick Constitution check? It's late. You're beat up. I just need to see if you're.
That's not good.
check. 17.
7.
Okay. As you're spiraling around, you just feel a wave of exhaustion hit you. You're going to take 1 point of exhaustion as you continue this. You are fine. You kind of rally a bit, and 15 was the DC.
Okay. Do I see him kind of hit that wall?
Are you trying to hide it at all?
No.
Then yeah, straight up
Why don't we...
with your passive.
I mean, obviously there's no like trail for us to follow. We're just kind of shooting in the literal dark here. Why don't we go back, get some rest, start fresh in the morning? At least maybe then we can ask around about someone who can try to either help us, or maybe someone will have seen her. I didn't really ask anybody around, but
I have my invisible friend is going around us looking for her, but yeah, maybe we should go back. I'm really tired.
I don't think there's anything else we can do for her tonight. So, one thing I
You're
am
bad
gonna
at
do.
finding kidnapped friends.
Well, we haven't really tried to find Tanzanite yet. We didn't make a solid effort beyond like trying to figure out
Do me a
where she
favor.
went.
Don't get kidnapped.
I'm not planning on
If
it.
either one of us gets kidnapped, then the other one's just on their own at this point, so that's no good.
Yeah, I know. Anyways, you go back. I'm gonna go. Actually, can you just come with me to the bookstore to get the cats, and then if you can carry 2 of the cats, obviously one of the sleeping ones, or maybe I'll put the sleeping one on mine and you carry the 2 that are not, and then I'll put the cage on my back and see if I can carry it.
Okay.
Okay, it's easy enough to perform what you've described. So unless there's anything that we're gonna go into more. And when you make it into the really was kind of like the fisher folks' common room, a shared space that isn't really. It's not like there's attached housing, but it is definitely the place where they gather. Usually, you can see that there's not really anybody at the circle anymore. You can hear gentle snores from several of the curtained alcoves, and then there's a big pink curtain ahead of you. You can easily pop in there and take your rest.
Does it like go towards the thing? I'm gonna tell my unseen servant, hey, sew up those nets. Like the ones that they maybe didn't finish.
All right. Yeah. I mean, how much time do you have left? It's like an hour per summoning, right?
Actually, no, it does. I don't think it says.
It should.
It just says instantaneous. I don't think it says how long it lasts.
I feel like
1 hour. You're right.
Yeah.
Is it a concentration spell? Does
I
it
do
have a
not-
little C next to it?
I do not believe unseen servant is a
Okay.
concentration spell.
I'm gonna say if he falls asleep, then
But yeah, I would say like you fall asleep and pretty quickly the unseen servant poofs before it can do too much damage to their trophies.
No, I meant the ones that they were working on.
Oh, that they were working on. Yeah. Well, that's actually very kind. Okay. Well, it still poofs, but it's very kind. Yeah, you go ahead and go to sleep, and if you want a full night's rest, it's going to be 8 hours, so it's going to put you into well past dawn.
Wait,
mid morning.
before I go to bed, I'd like to eat something.
Thought I would sneak that through. What you eating?
Is
Well,
the fish stew available?
You
well,
can
can't
see
we
that
eat
there
in
is
the morning though, or does that
something-
not count? Oh, because
technically
of
it's
the
supposed to
exhaustion.
be
Oh,
the
right.
night before, and I kind of like tweaked
Right.
with the breakfast that one
Got
time.
it. I forgot that you had the exhaustion.
Yeah, you can see that there is the primordial version of the stew. It's definitely like early cooking, but you can make a meal of some like it's a huge pot. So
Yeah, I'll just like take a little bit of that and like some water and just like
make
eat that
yourself a little bit of a
snack
meal.
before I go to bed.
Okay, great. So yeah, you will wake up fully rested. There is nothing going on in the night unless anybody wants to roll perception checks to find out how early the fishing people get up and leave. But I feel like you're both
probably
dead
too
to the
sore.
world.
Yeah.
I think if anything, it's the complaints of two kittens that wake you up around mid-morning. They've been up for a while in their container and pretty aggressively trying to gain your attention by about this time. The smell of
This is how we wake up every morning in real life with two dogs.
yeah. I remember waking up to cats and dogs. I don't have one now, but I remember. Yeah, you wake up and there's the smell of what Trixie probably has never experienced, but I know that Larissa has. Salmon chowder. Kind of that rich, flavorful scent. Additional spice flavors, garlics, and other things like that. And some sort of zesty, citrusy bit, and something else.
Is that the chowder stuff I smell?
Yes.
What? So what is stew? It is stew chowder?
It's like it's like a meat like mixed with like vegetables and like a sauce. I guess.
Meat?
Yeah, like this is fish. Like fish is the meat in this one.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I think of fishes and meat as two different things, I
Is
guess.
there 4 bowls there that I can use?
You can see that there's like kind of this like system of dirty and clean, and it's obvious that somebody's job is to clean up the dirty after a bit, but there's just a little bit of a system. There's kind of a stack of what look like, best way to describe it is pressed bark bowls.
Okay.
Cheap stuff, but easily found and easily used.
I'm gonna grab 2 of the bowls and go over and just like dip the bowls into the stew, because I don't know that. One, I mean, it's over a fire, so I guess like, yes, I know it's hot, but I like don't know to use a spoon or a ladle or whatever.
Well, she's doing that.
So-
I'm gonna take the cats out to do their business because they're probably ready for that.
Oh, they've done it.
Oh, great.
I mean, the cage is not like there are holes and stuff, so
Okay.
Cleaning out their cage would be a helpful thing, I'm sure. They are too young to be potty trained in the way that we all want our young animals to get.
and I'm going to go over and I'm going to put the bowls in front of them, but before
I'm gonna start preparing an unseen servant ritual.
I'm gonna
Poop when you have an invisible friend who'll do it for you.
I am gonna take a spoon from my mess kit and like dip it in there and like go over to Bonnie's and like at least like hold the spoon in front of its nose and see if it reacts at all, and like maybe like try to touch it to its mouth or like pull up a lip and like, you know what I mean, just to see if it reacts in any way.
Roll an Arcana check.
Oh, My forte. My
Yeah, the DC for you is pretty high on this.
Ah. Arcana. 12.
Yeah, so I think you don't get any of the mystical thing that's happening, but the cat remains unresponsive. I'm not using the word again, but I'm thinking it.
Andy thought it was funny. There was a comment.
Thank you, Andy.
Shoot.
Can't help you. I'm preparing a ritual. Sorry.
No, I don't want to leave it here unwary or unaware, unprotected, like so vulnerable. I'm going to take like cloth and try to like Bjorn it so that it's across while the other two are eating, so that hopefully they don't like get upset that I'm taking their sibling. And then I'm going to go back inside and grab a third bowl and try the stew for myself. And probably burn my tongue.
We all would, honestly. All right, yeah, so the morning is yours. What are you...
Once the ritual's done, I'll cast Unseen Servant and have him clean out the cage.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to fast forward through
and also
the
do all those
cleanup mess.
dishes.
Oh, see, taking care of things. Yeah, easily enough done within the hour that the Unseen Servant has. There were quite a few dishes, but your housekeeping is definitely most likely appreciated. I don't know if you'll be here to receive the appreciation or not, but yeah. But the late morning at this point.
I'm going to be like, let's bring the cage back over to the shop and see if Fawn will watch the cats, and then we can go.
Okay, I'm trying to decide. Well, I guess maybe at least if she could watch over this one for sure. I really don't like...
We don't... these fishing people seem nice, but we don't know them. I'd rather leave them with someone we know.
No, that's fine. I just mean more that because they're linked, like this one really shouldn't be left alone anymore.
Yeah. Also,
yeah.
the bookstore, Miss... Oh, God. What's her name?
Miss M.
Miss M knows some magic, I think. Maybe she can help.
Maybe.
All right. So let's just, like, two-man carry the cage, or two-person carry the cage over to the bookstore.
Yeah, so easy peasy, both of you working together, get it done, getting over there. As you approach the bookstore, would you both roll a perception check?
Oh no. Burnt out.
8.
21.
All right.
I am too preoccupied with the kitty on the chest.
You are concerned with the kitty, and that's totally fine. You have a little bit more attention available, and you see a strange contrivance in front of the bookstore. You haven't seen anything like this here. You know that they're around in Overton for some of those who seem to have a bit more money than sense. And what really stands out to you is the logo.
Okay. Oh, it's Grand. Grand is at the bookstore.
The clothes dude.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well,
Oh. Maybe he knows where Canyonville is, actually.
maybe, or maybe you could at least sell us some app or something. I don't know.
All right. So
All right.
we will continue, put the cats back in their place out back, and then go inside.
Set that up, and you walk into Grand sharing his brand with the proprietress and talking her ear off.
Hello, Grand.
Whoa! Oh, my beautiful, beautiful boy and my beautiful, beautiful girl. Where is your third wheel, you two lovebirds?
She has
Which one? We
been...
have 2 friends.
The fish person's a friend.
Well, both of them are
Yes.
kidnapped by different people, so things aren't going great.
Oh, what's a tragedy? Why would you lose your friends?
We were stopping a crime
We didn't.
while wearing all of your logoed goods.
Oh. My dear, dear loves, we are faced with tragedy, and yet I have the most amazing news. Your efforts on my behalf in Overton have paid dividends. And when I say dividends, I mean dividends. I did not know you knew the people you knew. I left my associates to finish the little bits and pieces because apparently you are connected in high places, and a certain wizardly fellow felt it was important that I scurry along and help facilitate your next adventure to a place called Canyonville.
Yes, that is where we would like to go next.
Yeah,
But-
that's where one of our friends is supposedly kidnapped to, heading to. She.
Is this the fishy one or the
other one.
tiara
No,
one?
the
The
tiara
tiara
one.
Ah, Miss Tiara herself. She managed to get kidnapped. Well, that fits some of the...
I mean, we will need to rescue her because she is wearing your gear, and that sends a bad message.
Oh, but just think of the optics when you, dressed in Grand's Brands, rescue. Oh, I need to come up with a line of kidnap wear. Is that
No, that's
a little uncouth?
maybe.
I wouldn't sell it to kidnappers. I'd sell it to the recently released as a... I wouldn't sell it. I would
You mean
give
like
it.
I got kidnapped and all I got was this lousy T-shirt?
Is that a good saying for it?
I maybe wouldn't say
I'll have to
lousy.
put
Maybe
it
shiny
the-
or
I was
all I got
kidnapped,
was this
and
grand.
Grand's
t-shirt.
brand loved me so much they dressed me up.
That might
Huh.
you might run out of room.
It'll have to be a full cloak then.
That
Right.
could work.
At any rate, the tragedy, Tiara. What can we do for her?
Well, we should find the other one first because we don't know where she is, and she was kidnapped from here yesterday, whereas Tanzanite was kidnapped 2 days ago, and we do know where she's going. But the other one, and somehow she's either asleep or being drugged, or maybe someone put a spell on her. But and then I like pull aside the Bjorn a little bit. Yeah, she's still asleep.
You just checked your adorably furry squirreliness and then said she's asleep. Do you have some tracking spell or other?
No.
Do you have one? This cat is connected to our friend who was kidnapped.
What cat?
And
I'm
then
gonna pull the
that cat.
Oh.
like they're magically connected to each other by their souls.
Magically connected by that. You know, these days, this wild talk of magic and spirituality is just getting a little beyond me, like that contrivance out front. I still don't know how that thing moves. I did ship it here.
Right.
What's a contrivance?
Invention.
Oh, you know of these... Oh, that's right. You grew up in Overton. Of course you would know of these glorious things. Why don't you know of these glorious machines?
I didn't get into town much. I grew up out in the woods. I'm from Overton, but I'm from...
You are the rural to this one's
Well,
city slicker.
they had a nickname for us. It was something like suburbians or suburbans or something like that. I don't know. They used to make fun of us for it.
I feel like we need to rebrand that. Superbians. We'll see if that catches on.
You're really into branding, huh?
Oh, anything, everything, anywhere. In fact, I was just talking to this lovely woman here, and she's just, her eyes just like glazed over. She's clearly done. And I think we can rebrand every book in this place as MB Publishing.
Is that really necessary?
I don't see why not. I mean, she's got quite the collection here, and she says that most of them have been produced locally, and I feel like we could really make a rocking out across the ocean. I have contacts all over the place, and we can really make something happen here. This is valuable knowledge tucked away inside of these
Valuable knowledge about local fish is valuable across the ocean.
Well, look here at this tome, and he kind of reaches forward and grabs what seemingly at random, and he opens it up, and the descriptor of how they managed to enrich the soil here with the carcasses of this other creature that I don't know what it is, just absolutely mind-blowingly advanced.
Mm-hmm.
Can I roll an insight check?
Yeah. Go for it.
That's a dirty 20.
He's very obviously been fed that line by somebody somewhere very, very recently, and is just reciting something he learned. He doesn't believe what he's saying. He's
from
just
the book,
but
or
what he is saying, they sound like somebody else's words.
okay.
Does it sound like somebody I know?
Possibly.
Well, why don't we give her time to think about it? You know, as it would be a big change, and I think it would be fair to give her a little bit of time. But I know that there are. Have you met the lie people yet, or
The lie people. Oh, I'd love to meet these lying people.
No. Lie. See, I thought the same thing. Lie. They make soap with it.
I think I do want to finish this conversation with it, but
if you think of
Roll
all
a
the different
persuasion
types
check.
of soap. 5.
I see where that's going, but I am definitely closing
look-
this
You know
deal right.
that this town not only has a lye factory, but also has a lumber mill.
A lumber mill. Yeah, so does Overton.
Right. But do you want to pay Overton prices for lumber for your goods? Or do you want to pay outside of Overton prices for lumber for your goods?
Well, I mean, Overton lumber is kind of a unique, rare resource, but what do you think that they have going on here?
But there's one way to find out, I guess, isn't there?
Perhaps you're tempting me with your talk of fiduciary success.
Gilmore vibes.
What?
I said I'm getting Gilmore vibes.
12.
And yet, I'm almost sealing this deal. And you can see that Miss M's face is just like, oh God, he's coming back. He stopped talking to him. And as he turns his back to you, he says, and we will find your friends, Fish and Tiara. But first, what do you say, my dear? And you can see that she's slowly falling under this weird spell of like his greasy salesmanship.
I'm going to step in between them again, and I'm going to look up at him because I'm assuming he's taller than I am.
Oh yeah,
I'm
most
gonna
people
say,
are. Except for
let
that 1%.
her think about it. You've given her a lot of information. It's not fair. Go.
Is he actually like charming her or just like
Roll an
naturally-
Arcana check and then an Insight check.
13 30 or natural 20.
Okay, you can't tell if it's magically induced, but he is. You've seen this before. Like there is charisma that is, I'm going to truly convince you, and then there's a person who's being a greasy salesperson. He's being a greasy salesperson, but he's being effective at it.
Like he's just wearing her down.
He's worn her down, and he can sense that she's about to cave.
I'm going to say something I read in a book once, or in a like written on a piece of paper or something I found in a cave. When I wake in the morning and I step outside, I take a deep breath, and I'm gonna cast Counter Charm on her, just in case.
Just in case. Her hair comes undone, falls away. You can see suddenly, as her hair comes down, it distracts her for a moment. She looks it over at you. And there's an immediate change to his expression. You can see him suddenly go, oh, you are a treasure. And in this moment, both of you see her hair start to move of its own volition. Start to raise up and move. And it seems like small fangs.
Jason is checking to see exactly what he did.
Small fangs begin to form on the ends
That
of
spell
her
doesn't do
hair.
what I thought it did.
And as those small fangs begin to form at the end of her hair, she quickly pulls her hair back up and clasps something to it. And then looks at you again. But Grand seems completely smitten with her right now. What sort of
So
deal
apparently Counter
will
Charm just gives
we
her saving
work
throws
out?
on being charmed. That's all it does.
Yeah. But it also messed with her clasp. And he's no longer speaking so much as wooing her. And now the situation has turned from a greasy sales situation to
Greasy flirtation.
greasy flirts. Greasy flirts. Okay. That you are bearing witness to.
I now have goosebumps.
Use
in the
my
worst way.
conveyance, you two kids. See if you can get about town and find. Oh, and my assistant is in there if you would like to utilize their services.
Do you have tracking spells or know someone or?
That is not in my purview, but you might ask my assistant if they know anything.
Do you have guards with you?
No. One doesn't come armed to gentle negotiations.
Oh, you
And he
didn't
reaches
tell me
out
this,
his
never
hand
mind.
to Miss M.
Did you tell me there was bandits in the woods? That the guards turned into bandits?
No.
Okay, then never mind.
He's reaching out his hand to Miss M at this point. His attention, unfortunately, that clasp coming undone has undone him. So
She's still like super not into it.
she doesn't seem. She seems more resigned. Like her face has switched from being like not into this to it happened, and she keeps kind of darting pointed looks your way.
I'm gonna kind of turn like over my shoulder and give her like a "you good" look.
She kind of wearily nods, like this is something that she's dealt with before.
Okay. We should go.
Okay.
Let's go find this assistant.
All right, this is gross anyway. Let's go.
Yeah, you pop out of the shop. Fawn already is taking care of the cats, except for the one that's in your possession. And there's this strange contraption. It looks like a tricycle, but instead of like an open situation, it's enclosed. And it looks like it's probably really tight if Grand is sitting in there. But it must work. And you feel like the two of you can fit in there. If Grand can fit in there, the two of you can easily fit in there. And as you kind of unlatch and open to look in, and if you're going to use it, you said you were going to go find this. There's a very small, wizened-looking individual sitting in the corner going, yes, are you a guest of the master?
Are you the assistant?
That's what he's calling me these days. Driver, assistant, cabin boy. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, he's not pleasant, is he?
Oh, he's lovely. He pays quite well.
Is
He
that
would, I
worth
guess he would
it?
have to put up with him every day.
Yeah, it's quite lovely.
We're the people
You're
from
the
the
lost
wall.
children, the brand ambassadors, so to speak, I hear.
I
Yes.
guess, yeah.
He calls you his lost children, just so you know.
That's
Oh,
weird.
well, that's
Yeah,
it.
he's,
It's good to know
It's
though.
not
so
like
that,
mayor level creepy, but it's up there.
I think he may have picked it up from. You don't want to. He'll grow out of it. He doesn't last long with any one idea. He's as fickle as a hummingbird drinking pickle juice.
I don't think I've ever seen that. So here's the issue. Two of our companions, half of our group have been kidnapped. One, we know where they're going. The other was kidnapped here yesterday, and we have no idea how to find her. Do you have anything, do you know anyone that could help us? We're a little stuck.
Is there anything on? I can't do. So you said one is near and one is far.
Yes.
Well, one we know where they're going. Near, far. One we know their kidnappers are taking them to Canyonville. We don't know where they are between here and there.
Canyonville, that's my old home.
Oh, good. Good to know. We may ask you about that later.
It's
The
a
other,
shitty town, but hey, good food.
we don't pick where we grow up. And she just kind of like disassociates for a second. But the other one, she got taken by people from here, we think. People who used to be guards. Oh God, I'm an idiot.
What?
So the guards that are in the jail, they said that the other guards went into the woods.
So they probably have Bonnie in the woods.
I'm an idiot.
Okay.
So are you looking to take? This isn't exactly a woods vehicle. It's barely handling this dirt road here.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, is it quiet?
Well, here, I'll give you a quick tour. And he hits a lever and pulls another lever, and you hear this high-pitched.
Yeah, no.
It's quite. I mean, that's just the beginning phase. It will get more. And then he pulls another lever, and you hear, and it starts shaking a little bit in place, and you can hear everything around rattle, including some of the shutters of the windows of the nearby buildings.
Maybe later.
It's quite fun.
It looks like it could be.
I don't know how to drive it quite right.
That's okay.
That's disturbing.
There's a screeching
No.
noise, and it jerks forward a little bit.
Does he have a car?
They said it's like
a tricycle.
like a
with an
tricycle carriage.
enclosed-
Okay.
I think we're gonna maybe try to like sneak up on them. That might be better.
Oh, this is not a sneaky vehicle.
No. Okay. Well, crap. There's a lot of woods. How?
Well, are you talking about the woods that are nearby, or the woods to the southeast?
I don't know. They didn't. The other ones didn't specify, which is closer to the town square, I guess.
Do I know this?
I don't think either of you even knew about the second woods.
I didn't know there was other woods.
Well, if you have the ones close by, there they are. If you're talking about the ones further away, I should convey you via the farmland to the forest land, I suppose. This is terrible.
If you were a bandit, which one would you head out in?
Neither. When I came through from the north, I avoided both because there were a lot of problems. Hunting parties going missing, strange mists, howls, growls, other things. It seems like a bad place to go.
In the north.
Both.
Well, you couldn't come from both directions, right?
Well, see, the road here, the road to Overton, they all meander, as they do, and they kind of meander between the two different woods. They're very distinct. You'll know it when you see it.
Why do I feel like none of that information was helpful?
It was extreme. Do you need me to sketch it out for you?
No, I just mean we just need to know which one to go to. But you're saying neither. You said neither.
Well, I wouldn't go to either.
Okay, so yesterday, the Wizard Knee scared all the guards out of town, and now they're forming a bandit gang outside of town.
Yeah, yes, I guess they're hanging out there. The guards said that they were just gonna hide there for a couple of days and then come back in and I guess try to take over again.
So the guards who left said that they're going to hang out there and then come back and... Okay, I'm following your logic as best I can here.
No, there were other guards. There were guards that we thought were good that we were gonna have stay and help make the town better, but it turns out they're absolute cowards and they're leaving. And the other guards that I killed some of them, but the other ones that are still alive, they went out into the woods, but they're not guards anymore, but they're all bad people.
Maybe you should draw us that map.
I'm going to, because you two are losing my mind.
This seems like a good time
Begins to scratch
for a
out some
lesson on
stuff.
map
We're going to
making.
take a break with our intermission, which is literally map making, and I'm going to share the map that I share there. Here, over there.
We'll be
everywhere.
back soon.
Bye.
Hello and welcome to another intermission with the podcast, Probability of Demise. Please like and subscribe, hit the bell icon, and do all that fun stuff. Also check us out on demisecast.com. That is the location of the actual podcast that we are live streaming for, and where you can connect yourself to whatever podcast medium you like. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Chrome, whichever one you've got. All right, today's topic is maps. Now, this is problematic for me to be talking about because we are doing a podcast that's predicated on the idea that we don't have visuals, so we're trying to do all of our visualizing through our verbiage. But I still find maps very helpful. Maps are a great way to record places. They are also a great way to kind of figure out if the concepts of your campaign, if you have a campaign that's going through a lot of exploring, whether that's in a city or across a continent, make sure the pieces all fit together and remain consistent as you move forward on things. In the current campaign that we're all enjoying together, we are in a mysterious continent, and don't let the team of players know, but we're actually in Antarctica without the ice. So if you ever want to Google and look up what that looks like, you can, or you can stick around for the intermission and see the map that I created based on what Antarctica would look like sans the ice sheet. So maps are a ton of fun. They're a great way to act as record keeping, great place for notes, although I really need to find a place for accent notes because I keep messing that up. That is one of my weaknesses as a GM, is I want to do the accents, so I'm going to do them, but I'm not going to remember which accent belonged to which character. At any rate, we had a lot of fun, and we've been exploring Overton. I had a map for that city that I shared with the players because their characters grew up there. And it was a great little map. I'm actually going to pull it up really quickly here so that you can see it. And I use Incarnate for these designs. Incarnate I like because it's a flexible little map generator. I like printing off big maps. It lets me do some pretty heavy duty images. I think some of the maps I've been doing have been 8,000 by 8,000 pixels. And it really makes for a great space, and they have a lot of assets that I enjoy using in my map creation. But they're not the only one, as we'll see in just a second. So I'm going to go ahead and screen share if I can, and then talk about different tools for maps. So you can see here that we have Incarnate. This is my account. These are my maps here. I'm going to go into Overton City. And we built this city together as a group, but I needed to flesh out some things after we had gone through our city building and world building experience. And so I added a whole bunch of different pieces. I love that this tool lets me put in fun text and have them colored differently. So I actually color-coded neighborhoods for myself. Lots of different building shapes, lots of different pieces to put in. And this is more of a top-down view of the city. For my world map, or truly what's the map of the place that they're in, which is what this map is right here. This is Antarctica without the ice and warmed up and shifted a little bit. This map is more of a isometric view. The objects and such on this map are situated such that they have a little bit of a hint of a 3D space. And I think this map is really where what I love about Incarnate shines. I used to do my own hand-drawn watercolor maps, and this is a more precise tool, but it still gives that watercolor feeling, and I think I just enjoy this look. There are some other things you can do with it, such as creating more parchment-based maps. This is the naked world without any of the features that I added. And it just really makes me happy. It's a fun little space, it's a fun little tool, and Incarnate's pretty straightforward to use. I'm going to go ahead and go to an ancient map that I used to use and go into the editing space just so you can see it really quickly. It does require an account, and there's a free and paid for version, but I have enjoyed this map tool because of just the flexibility, and as campaigns evolve, things change, and I like to be able to shift things around. And if I had done one of my hand-painted things, and I have characters who are having world-changing consequences, I want to be able to shift things around. So here's a fun one that I think I was just goofing around and imagining what my old world would look like on the Feywild side. So crazy big buildings, a little bit more fanciful in the design, some random airships traveling about, clearly some overlap of objects, which I would need to fix. But this was a really easy tool to use. You can use the shovel to choose foreground and background shapes. You can use the paintbrush tool to add texture and color. And they even have this fun little handy-dandy stamp tool, which is actually where you get your assets. Here's a picture of a bridge, but a blimp, a flock of birds in the air, all these really fun little pieces that bring life to a map that I would normally draw in. And that is typically my preference, to draw in maps. But I also want to share another tool that I love. This is what I started off. This is Dungeon Fog. And Dungeon Fog is for free, and it can be used for your world maps and such, which Incarnate can do world maps quite easily, and I think that's my favorite part of it. But this one, Dungeon Fog, or DGN Fog, dungeonfog.com, is my favorite for building really rich dungeon crawl experiences. I like to do it with this, then I go get them printed off really nicely if I'm using paper. But then just for making my own map to track where the players are when they are in a dungeon crawl that we're doing narratively, I might use this tool and use it to kind of mark out where things were, put it in my binder, my DM binder, just to make sure I know where things are going. And it's an absolute blast. I don't remember my account right now, otherwise I would pop in and show you some of the stuff. But that's memory for you. At any rate, these different map tools and map making again go to the heart of what I enjoy about D&D, which is exploring and the social aspects. And maps for me are a social tool. As I'm drawing out a map pre-campaign and getting my ideas on paper, it's my opportunity to consider and think about what sort of social interactions I hoped might occur. It's also my opportunity to listen to what my players are saying about what they want to do for their characters and create a map that suits those characters. Now, you might be sitting there going, well, why would you create one that suits their characters? That seems ridiculous. It's a fantasy storytelling game that we're doing together. Of course I'm going to create a map that suits them. If I have somebody who wants to play a ranger spending a lot of time in forests, I'm going to have them start off in a forest area. If I have somebody who, as part of the character backstory, has a grudge against dragons, I'm going to include the layers of dragons on my map. These stories that we tell sitting around playing D&D with dice arbitrating different things aren't meant to be contentious. They're meant to be fun, engaging stories. So I like the map that helps with that space. At the same time, sometimes map making is just not your thing. You're not into it and it's too difficult. Maybe you're more into the machinations of the politics or the trade that might be going on in your world, and you're trying to build a world based on that. And I actually use this for some story writing because it just helps with this. You can use a tool like Asgar's fantasy map generator, which can do a lot of auto generation of your map, and then you can tweak things, and it can give you layers of information from everything from country spaces, continents, and even the political structure of towns and cities. And I really enjoy that. Then you can adjust things. So it's a fun starter point for that. Also with cities and city generation, there's a whole slew of tools out there that can generate a city. Donjon has an auto city generator, I believe. But there's also a tool that I love called Watabu, medieval fantasy city generator. This link will be in the description of this live cast just so you know what's going on. But I love that because it's so simple, and if I have my folks suddenly going to a city, or if I'm doing a one-shot, I might just do a random city map and use that to kind of like figure out where the neighborhoods are, what's going on. And the reason why I like Watabu, whatever, the medieval fantasy city generator that will be linked down below, is that you can drag and drop shapes around and it regenerates the city around what you've done. So you might be mostly happy with a city, but then you can use this tool to tweak and then make yourself very happy with what you've got. There are some other tools out there. Wonderdraft is a pay-for tool, and I never really enjoyed it enough to stick with it, so I let go of that. There's Pro Fantasy Campaign Cartographer. I also was not able to stick with that because, first of all, it's upfront pay, so there wasn't an opportunity to experiment and tinker with it, so I had to pay for it. I paid for it. I enjoyed it for a little bit, but it just didn't have the look I was going for. I really like a fantasy story to have a fantasy style map. And the maps were just a little too realistic. So both Wonderdraft and Pro Fantasy Campaign Cartographer were just a little too realistic for me. Oh look, that light turned off. I love Watabu because it's a quick, easy medieval fantasy generator. Asgar's fantasy map generator when I just don't have time to think about the world or when I'm just trying to get inspired. But they can be full on everything you need. I would say that while I love Incarnate, because it's a super powerful map making tool and it has a free version, the free version does not have all the bells and whistles that I would actually be looking for. I'm willing to pay for that. I have the Pro package, and it is a really good deal with the Pro package. The free one is pretty decent as well. What is most important to me with Incarnate is that you definitely can draw out your own world. And you have a choice between using a square grid mode or a kind of like free form hex design. And I just really enjoy that creative control that I can get with the tool. it does require an account, it does require pay if you want all the features, but it's been a great tool. Now, I did show Dungeon Fog earlier, and Dungeon Fog would be my favorite if I wasn't paying for Incarnate. If I couldn't afford Incarnate, I would do Dungeon Fog. It's a software tool that works perfectly for dungeon crawling, which is amazing. You can also get and use, if you want to like project it up somewhere, you can use a Fog of War tool with relationship to it. I haven't used that in a long time, so I can't remember how it works. But that's nice if you're trying to make sure that your players don't know what's around the corner. You can also, as part of it, write up your notes. So you can have some GM notes to keep track of what each room has and have descriptions in there. And I really, really love it for that. I have tried making world maps with Dungeon Fog and have never been have rarely been successful. It's definitely more the dungeon sort of tool, and it's great at that. It does a great job with your dungeons. So definitely check that one out, especially if you're more of a dungeon runner. And then the last thing that I want to say is you don't have to go crazy with your work. You can simply sketch out what you're doing, and rough sketches are great. Use that as a reference for yourself. Share it with the players, and you can even make access to the map part of your storytelling. You can say to your players, oh, you can go buy the map, or you can say, hey, there's no map available, but you can certainly draw your own, and then depending on how they roll, offer them some assistance. I like to take a large map, cut it up into multiple portions, and as they travel through the area, if somebody really wants to be mapping their travels, I can pull out the right Cartesian coordinate slide that they're on, hand it to them, and say, this is the land area that you've discovered. And then I'll point, or I'll even jot down if they want me to, the locations of the towns, and let them draw out what things look like, because that's a fun thing for some people. If it's not fun for folks and they prefer not to do that, I might just share with them the map on occasion. One thing that I am considering doing, and I'm probably going to do with the crew that we're playing with right now, is I'm going to give them a blank map of Atland. That's what I'm calling Antarctica without the snow. And just say, here's the continent you're on. Know that you have space to explore and do things. You don't have to do everything. Here's where you are right now. And while your character won't know all that's here, you as a player might need to know this to feel confident and comfortable that anything you do or throw my way, I am ready for. Bring it on. And I feel like that's a great way as a GM to help your players feel more comfortable that their crazy ideas have space in your world. I love sharing that my world is absolutely humongous, so that the players can say, I want to go find a desert and go hang out there for a while. Or I am tired of these forests. I need to go find some grasslands and go deal with monsters of the grasslands that I can see coming from miles away. I want to go on a sailing adventure. Is there going to be enough content for a sailing adventure? So it's kind of nice to be able to hand them a blank map and say, hey, this is the space that your character's wandering around in. They may not know about all these things, but you need to know that it's all here so that you don't feel constrained by what you fear I may or may not have prepped. And that's, besides being a great note-taking tool and planning tool for your campaign, I think maps are a great way of reassuring your players that you're there to help craft the adventure they want. But I'm going to just take a few moments and we're going to create a fun little map together. I'll turn off the audio so you don't need to listen to me mumbling to myself, and just enjoy how Incarnate works with regard to map making. I would go into Dungeon Fog, but like I said, I forgot my account and I don't want to reinvent the wheel. Well, I hope you're enjoying this little demonstration of Incarnate. Not that you need to use this or anything else. You choose what you like the most. But I definitely wanted to put together a little demonstration of something that I definitely enjoy playing with and think is a great little tool and useful for fleshing out your concepts and ideas and the worlds that you are telling stories in. Please feel free to like, comment, subscribe. If Incarnate wants to sponsor this video or any other video in the future, we'd love you. I only somewhat joking. Honestly, I'm not really joking at all. I would love for somebody to sponsor us and help us grow. But not expecting it and still loving the tool and the product. We are not sponsored by it. It's truly love of the tool. But you can see it's kind of a fun little thing. Can mess up quite a bit, fix your problems as well. Gotta love your undo button. And enjoy creating and tinkering and thinking about your places and your peoples and how they all fit together. So appreciate your time, and I hope you have a lovely second half of our show. Please like, comment, and subscribe down below.
Hello.
Hello, and welcome back to the podcast.
Hello.
We are... Oh, we missed the word of the day.
The word of the day is Scotland.
Straight from the source's mouth.
Awesome.
We miss you, Jess.
That's probably who the other person was watching.
Maybe.
Oh, maybe. That'd be kind of cool. All right. We are getting back into this. But we also got some delicious pumpkin pie. This episode is sponsored by Jason's Chef Pumpkin Pie, gluten-free crustiness. They sponsored us just by feeding us, so that's kind of where we're at in terms of sponsorship with our 3 viewers. So we really are pulling it, dude. We're a charity.
Kind of. I mean, we're already charity cases, but collectively, yeah.
Just because we're sad doesn't mean we're charity cases.
I would not say that the two are mutually exclusive.
I shoved pumpkin pie in my mouth so I wouldn't talk. Then I was realizing I have to actually talk.
Oh yeah, you're the game master.
You're the game master.
So
You originally said you're the game master, then you corrected
No,
yourself.
my brain stuttered.
okay, you were getting directions, and what I did is very similar to what you just saw during the intervention. If you wanted to look at that, I created a subset map situation so that they could kind of build a map as they travel around, since we're no longer in Overton itself. They saw it in the intermission too. Okay, Trixie.
Buzzkill.
But you had the opportunity to kind of like get a sense of where things are, the 2 forests that he talked about. But as you said, you don't know which one they're in. So what are you trying to do to figure that out?
I also think I had it upside down. Well, this one, I mean, I guess we could just try both. I don't know which one Which one are we closer to?
The one above the town.
This one?
Yeah,
I guess we could
that's
go
the one you went up
to
into.
the one that we've been to and see if they're up in there.
I guess.
That's closer. It makes more sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so are you just traipsing up into the woods? Are you planning anything?
What time of day is it? Like noonish?
It's getting on noon, yeah.
Okay. Well, what do you think? Do you think they're more active during the day, or do you think they would be like awake at night? I mean, they were all just kind of drunk all the time, so it's kind of hard to tell.
Seems like around here they were like hustling people during the day and then drinking at night and never sleeping. So I don't really know.
I mean, I guess we could just try to like sneak in and see. I mean, we don't have to like attack them or anything, but we can try to sneak in and at least see if we can see anything.
Okay. We could always try to find him, I suppose.
Yeah.
All right. Should we get to drive us in his contraption?
No, I don't think we need to do that. It's not going to help us, especially not in the day if they're not sleeping.
All right. So
Okay. We're gonna
go out of town.
walk out of town.
Walk right up into the woods. All right.
I mean, no, we're gonna go slowly, and then like as it goes into the woods.
All right. What are you trying to do to figure out where you're going?
First, we're gonna go over the river and then to the woods. To grab no. Okay.
Kind of. Like just like, are you looking for anything in particular to kind of guide your steps, or what are you?
I guess we like as we go, we'd be looking for like signs that like a large group of people came this way.
Okay. Maybe at the periphery of the woods, you would have started to kind of like scout out this. Yeah, or
yeah. I mean,
once you got in the woods and were kind of enclosed in the trees, it might be a little difficult.
yeah. I mean, I would have probably looked for like an easy entrance because that's probably what they were looking for. They're not particularly motivated or anything, so I would probably look for like bigger openings, and then tracks possibly going into them.
Okay, so go ahead and roll a survival check.
I feel like maybe instead of going into the woods, we would walk along the edge of the woods.
That's what they were just saying.
Okay, yeah.
So freaking close. Survival?
Mm-hmm.
14.
Okay, yeah, it doesn't take terribly long. It's like an hour or two. And you begin to figure out that what you're finding is not organized tracks, it's running tracks, because they were still running terrified when they ran into the woods.
Okay.
But they're definitely in these woods.
There's definitely
Hooray, we went the
multiple-
right way.
And I think one other thing you can take from as you're kind of glancing at these, because the DC was 10, so you were a little bit higher than that.
This time.
It kind of reminds you the fact that they're running that they haven't had time to get to the organized level that was described as in the future tense by the other guards that were still in town. So there's a chance you could be catching them unprepared. Disorganized and separated even.
Do you want to like... This is not really my strong point, but do you want to like hunt them down? Maybe we can catch them in smaller groups?
I mean, we can try. I don't know.
What do we do? Do we kill them or do we try to run them out of here or?
I don't know. I'm not particularly intimidating, so I don't know. Besides beating them unconscious, I'm not sure what good I'm gonna be in, knocking them into shape. They don't really want. Nobody seems to want to listen to me. I mean, maybe we can try to convince them to at least leave.
Try.
Maybe we tell them to go to Canyonville. I don't know. And then we just end up meeting up with them there. I don't know.
I don't know. I guess maybe we'll just try to find them and see if they're organizing or like where they're at right now, and then make a call.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, might as well scout it out a little bit.
Sure.
At least try to. I'm not also great at that. I was never allowed on patrols, but I know how to do it in theory. Really miss Fidelity.
So as you go into the woods, are you trying to be sneaky?
Yes.
Roll stealth checks.
Hey.
15.
You squeak.
23.
Oh, okay. That was a squeak of joy. Yeah, okay. So you're going through the woods, and initially it's kind of like retracing steps a little bit, going up the stream. They seem to have gone up the stream. You get to the place where the little bit of a cliff is, and you can see where people scrabbled up the cliff. It's not a steep space, so it makes sense that they had scrabbled up, but nobody, at least from your initial tracking and still holding on to the original survival check, nobody went towards the cave. And you continue to track them up deeper and deeper into the woods. As you get deeper into the woods, the nature of the forest changes a bit. Whereas the first 100, 500, 600 kilometer of the trek was a bit open, now you're entering a part of the woods that is deeper and denser. The trees tower over you a bit more. They're all deciduous trees, but there's some really ancient trees here. Nothing younger than a couple of 100 years old in this space. And as you continue moving,
I'm also looking for any sign of Bonnie as we go.
as you continue moving into this space, the nature of this dense understory with fewer plants reveals pathways, animal trails. And it appears that most of the footprints and remaining signs indicate that the most recent flight of people was down one of the broader ones of these animal trails.
Well, I guess we just kind of keep creeping along this way and
Guess so.
keeping an ear out in case. I'm assuming we'll probably maybe, I don't know, hear them
They
before.
don't strike me as a stealthy group, but I guess we never know.
Yeah.
Roll a perception check.
16.
15.
So yeah, as you continue to penetrate the forest and get into the deeper side of it, those who came before you ran. But then you see signs where somebody must have fallen over here, gotten back up and continued going. And then you see paths diverging where people took different pathways, and some of the animal trails seem very distinct, but they didn't follow that. They went off on this little side path, and another one went over here, and
Do
three
any
or
of them
four went over this way.
do any of them have like deeper compressions, like deeper footprints, like they either were big or were carrying something, or
I was just gonna ask
drag
that.
marks?
Roll a new survival check.
Can I also roll one, or can I
Yeah.
give her advantage by not rolling one?
Describe to me how you are involved in the...
I'm gonna also like look around, like on the separate trails, just like looking at the tracks, trying to figure out if they're deeper or not. But
Okay, that'll be a separate roll then. I'm not going to go for advantage.
Hey, much better. That's a 25.
17.
I think that you make out where people checked after each other, and you're able to see and kind of get a really solid count of how many people went through. You're not quite as certain about like numbers and those trails that you're checking. And as you're kind of both moving, heads turned in opposite directions, checking these side trails that people seem to have gone down, you start to tally up a number. And when you hit 50, you realize there's a lot of people that were chased away that night. When you hit 75, you start to become concerned that Bonnie didn't go this way. And then you find a trail that is not brushed and seems to be earlier than the other trails, just slightly older, where the mud had not yet deteriorated as much on the earlier trails that you'd walk by. This one is definitely deteriorated a little bit more as the dampness of the forest floor started to reclaim its shape from the foot that last touched it. It makes it difficult to determine whether or not someone was carrying someone. But what stands out to you as you look at that is that there's thin groove lines on either side of the footprints that might indicate that something wheeled was being carried.
I think this might be our best shot.
Okay.
The only other problem is there's a lot of these guys.
Yeah, I don't think we can fight like 100 people, no matter how good we are.
Not unless we did something big, but I don't know what.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, is there any way that we could, like, scare them again, like, into not coming back?
I mean, Nee scared them away. I don't think that we have that kind of power, I guess.
What, can we, like, fool them?
Maybe.
Or, like, maybe... So... How big of things can you, like... He's not looking at me. How big of things can you, like...
Use your words anyways, because we have podcast listeners who are not going to understand it.
make things out of nothing with your mind?
Large-ish?
Remind me what that is in, like, comparison to, like, I don't know, us.
He's a
Now
medium
object.
creature.
Okay.
A large creature would be like a small giant, or I think a lot of the...
What about, like, a real life animal, like an elephant?
That would be bigger than... I believe elephants are considered...
I can only make non-magical items. I don't think I can make a living thing.
Yeah.
Like inanimate objects?
Yeah. It has to
Oh.
be non-living.
Damn. Okay. Never mind. Okay. Never mind. All right. Well, let's see if we can at least get her back and then figure out something else. Let's go.
Hang on, I gotta check something.
Okay.
Okay, could I get to the river and back in an hour?
At this point, you've been in the woods by like 3 hours.
Okay, never mind then. My plan was to go polymorph that giant crab again, bring it back, and then throw it at them and release the spell.
You'd have to find the crab.
Well, it's giant again by now. The spell only lasts for an hour.
Still would have to find the crab. It could have gone back into the lake. It could have, yeah. Anyways, I'm going to start heading down gingerly down following the.
All right, I want you to roll a
tracks.
new stealth check.
Natural 20. I'm
Suck.
very sneaky.
16, I think. I think my modifier is 4. Yeah.
Okay, this is a
16.
group check, so I'm going to use an average.
24. Natural.
Awesome. So, yeah, you're both very,
As he
very
goes, I just
sneaky.
show off.
As you say that, he just gestures at your foot as you're about to step over a broken branch.
Shut up.
And you just place your foot as you both help each other and cooperate in your sneakiness.
Very sneaky, sir.
And with that group stealth check, it's probably an hour or two later that you come upon a very, very large spider web. And that's probably the first thing you see is just this huge, huge spider web kind of barring the
I
path.
think we've established at this point that Asher's read The Hobbit, so he's suddenly very freaked out.
And that's all I can tell you for right now until you tell me what you're going to do when you see a giant spider web.
I think giant spider web might mean giant spiders.
It's possible, but either the guys that have Bonnie possibly have Bonnie got past, or now the spiders have Bonnie. So, I'm gonna look around and see if I can see any Bonnie shaped.
Roll a perception check.
I'm going to pull out my revolver of warning like it's Sting, and I'm just going to hold it up, like, see if it does anything.
Keep your eyes on that.
14.
You've been following tracks, and
Really miss fatality.
the tracks disappeared. And you kind of look around at the spider web and the other things around here, and you can see places where spider web was torn. But it wasn't torn deep, it was torn up. And as your eyes track up, you make out the shape of a handcart suspended above the ground, up on high.
Is there anything in the handcart, or is it just the cart?
It's just a cart. Anything that would have been in it would have,
Fallen.
based on the positioning, fallen out.
Can I look where that would have happened to see if there's any, like...
Are you walking
Drag
up to
marks.
it, or are you just looking?
I would have tried to sneak up to it.
Okay. Go ahead and roll an investigation check.
Man, I'm rolling like shit tonight.
It's all good.
6. I ain't found shit.
You realize that these web strands that you stuck your hand in as you were trying to like figure out what's on the floor are remarkably sticky, tensile. They have a strength to them. And then you realize, oh, it's stuck to my hands. You can peel it off, but that's sticky. You switch and peel it off, rips out a little bit of hair. It's like the strongest tape you've ever touched.
Uh-huh.
Stupid duct tape spider.
I'm gonna take, because it's still daylight, but is it just like dimmer lighting now? Because the canopy is...
canopy has really made it dark.
Okay.
It's actually harder to tell in this bit of the forest what the daylight situation is. The only thing that's really cued you in is the continued bird song.
Can I try using my goggles, but see if it's too bright?
Yeah, go ahead.
Just to see if I can at least pick out anything in the trees, like moving or...
Roll another perception check.
You aren't agreeing with me today. You also aren't agreeing. You all suck. Perception. Right? Perception?
Mm-hmm.
19.
From this new angle, as you are dealing with the stickiness and with your goggles on, looking up, and then kind of like a glance down with the goggles on at the webbing in your hand, and then looking up again, you can make out a shape that's different. There's a different way that this webbing was spun around, and you realize that that's connected to a solid object. Vaguely humanoid shaped.
Can you see anything?
Well, there's something up there, but I don't know if it's Bonnie.
Should we go look? Can you get up there? I don't know if I can climb that.
I'm gonna look and see, like, is it near any branches? Is it tied to a branch? Is there anything that, like, as a squirrel, do I have any advantage to climb?
I mean, looking at this with a tree, you think you can definitely climb it. The problem isn't the climbing, it's that sticky web is everywhere, all over this.
All over the trunks too?
It's interconnected. It's very messy work for whatever spider creature this is. Maybe webs aren't their primary method of catching. Maybe that's their primary method of den making.
I'm gonna take out my rapier and just like slash one of the webs and see if it just cuts or if it makes a huge mess.
Go ahead and roll an attack.
21.
You cut and you cut through at first, but as you kind of go through layers, you can feel your rapier begin to catch, and it cuts through with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 strands, and then as you get deeper, your sword becomes stuck, and it's harder and harder to pull through, and you realize if you don't pull out, you might lose your sword to the stickiness.
Okay, I will pull it out and put it away then.
And it's very sticky. It's going to stick to whatever it touches.
I'm going to prestidigitate the blade of my sword and then put it away.
Roll a intelligence check. Yeah, just a regular intelligence check.
That's nat 1.
Yeah, it's not coming off. It's like that residue that duct tape leaves.
I'm gonna take my torch out. I'm gonna put it at the base of the tree that's closest, like that. I'm assuming whatever the branch it's attached to is closest to that tree, and I'm just gonna put it like up against the webbing, and I'm gonna strike at it with my flint and try to light the torch to see if it's flammable.
See if the webbing's flammable or the...
Mhm.
Okay. So you light up your torch, and as you hold that torch up to the webbing, it kind of melts away, but it doesn't catch fire. As you bring your torch closer to it, it kind of just melts a little bit away, and then loose strands fly in the air, and some of them get caught and wrap around the torch, and wherever a strand catches on the torch, rather than just floating away and attaching itself to other webbing, it almost kind of extinguishes that section of the flame on the torch for a while until it slowly melts even further and starts dripping down the torch handle. Viscous stuff.
I am stuck.
You've got this. You both have got this. You can do it.
Except I can't run up a wall, or obviously
Not all what's in your abilities.
I feel like we could maybe light a bigger fire, but we might let the guards know that we're here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really worried about the guards at this point. I guess one thing I could try to do is get at an angle where I can see the string holding the thing up. Or is
Okay.
it just like
Can you-
web? Is it suspended by a string?
This one, when you looked at it, it appeared to be suspended.
I wonder, do you think I could walk up this tree because it's sticky?
I think eventually you'll get stuck.
Should I try?
I can't get you free if you get stuck.
I mean, I could get out of my shoes if I get stuck, I guess.
But then you'll fall. Also, the odds are that you would have to keep yourself forward. Otherwise, you'll just fall, like you'll bend back and then your back will stick to the tree.
Okay. I'm going to say, why stand over here when I can stand way up there? Ha ha ha. Ha ha. And I'm going to cast Dimension Door, which will open in front of us, and another one will open next to where the body's hanging.
Okay.
Next to where the body's hanging, like in thin air.
I mean, like where we could like step out, maybe like grab the tree and like cut the body loose and pull it back through the door.
Okay.
It's within the realm of the spell, except the dimension door is kind of usually one way.
Any other spot within range? A place you can see, visualize, or one you can describe by stating distance and direction, such as 200 feet straight downward, upward to the northwest at a negative 45-degree angle, 300 feet, anywhere within 500 feet. I can.
Yeah, it's a teleport spell though.
Yeah.
The dimension door isn't necessarily like a door, except that the visual
You
is
can
fun.
go through, but you can't come
You
back.
Go through. So you'd go through. It's not a return trip.
It's not a portal, it's a teleport.
Yeah. If you read the instructions, it's you teleport yourself.
Well, now there's a door to get up there.
Are you gonna teleport yourself there to it? Because that's the spell.
I'm gonna go. Do you want to come with?
Let me do it. Just let me do it.
I believe he has to do it, but
I think
he can take you with him.
with me, but I have to go. I think.
Yeah, it's a yourself. You can bring objects or a willing creature your size or smaller.
I can slow fall. You can't. I wouldn't do it. You're just going to either stick to something up there or you're going to fall.
Well, I don't know how to get up there. Do you have a better idea?
I wasn't going to try to get up there.
What if that's Bonnie in there?
I'm not. I was going to do. Can I try my thing? How long does the thing last?
It doesn't. It's instantaneous.
Can you retract it or not? I don't understand it. Like, are you just automatically teleported?
I'm willing to let him hold it like he's ready to cast it for this moment, because you two are kind of like figuring this out and sorting out yourselves quietly under the understory. So you decide how you want to do it.
So let's retcon this a little bit then. All right, I can make us a door. Because she hasn't seen me do this. I only used it to escape from prison. That's how I do it. I can make a door that goes from here to up there, but it only goes. I don't think I can come back through it.
Okay.
And I could bring you up there, but I think I have to go with you.
Okay. And what, like, I can slow myself down falling, but what are you gonna do?
Try not to fall, I guess. I don't know. Grab something.
Well, then you'll just get stuck in the web. Okay. Let me try something first, and I'm gonna back up at an angle, and I'm gonna take one of the friggin' 10 daggers that I looted off the dudes yesterday, and I'm gonna start throwing daggers at the string above the thing.
Awesome.
Trying to.
Poor Bonnie's gonna get stabbed.
Roll your attack for the first dagger.
Hang on. I'm just gonna put this over here because it's bugging me.
Dagger 1. Natural 1. Straight into Bonnie's heart. Death saving throws over.
6 plus. Is it my?
It's your attack for
Just my unarmed?
No, it's your thrown weapon.
I don't have a thrown weapon.
Yeah, you do. It's right
Oh,
there.
ranged. It's the
You
same.
just do the same.
So that would be a 13.
Missed, like it kind of like you throw it. You don't hit the bundle, but you don't hit the connecting piece on that first throw. Dagger 1.
You throw daggers well, like nobody I have seen. You can hit this thing.
Okay, so that's a 22.
Okay. That misses.
Okay.
Waited a beat, hoping you would.
Well, I don't know if it's gonna take more than one dagger. I don't know. That's a natural 20. Is that good enough for you?
What's the total with the natural 20?
27. Do you
That
need me to?
hits, and you see it kind of slice the connecting piece, and it just sways a bit as it, and you can see that it's starting to get there, but it's going to take a little bit more work.
Okay. Gonna try again. That is a dirty 20, and what is it, a D8?
Mm-hmm.
That's not an 8. That's an 8.
Roll again.
Oh. That's a 27?
That hits. you hit, and it cuts.
Oh, wait,
A
that's
little
actually a
bit further.
28 because it's a 14
Yeah.
plus 7. Okay.
I can do the math. You see it
Fuck off.
cut, and you can see it
all right?
swing even further, and it's a tiny little thread. And you know that if a breeze picks up, it will rip free, or you can try to hit it one last time and take it out yourself.
Hey, send your dude.
How high up is it?
It's about 60 feet high.
I don't think you
Ish.
can go that high.
What do you mean?
It's too far. He has to stay close to me.
Useless. Not you, it. Is that 3 daggers?
It's 4 daggers.
I could try to shoot it.
No. The first one missed. The second.
Missed.
Oh,
Third
right.
hit, fourth hit.
Okay.
Hey.
One more time. What?
Doing a good job. Try not to stab our poor friend. Hey, but no pressure. Bardic inspiration.
Okay. It's an 18. 25?
Yeah, 25 just hits. That last bit, ting, and then
And I dive to catch it.
okay,
I will also
dexterity.
dive to try to help catch it.
Either because you're both diving, either roll with advantage one of you, or roll separately.
Go for it.
Well, I'm gonna
Dexy
roll,
monk.
and I'm also gonna use step of the wind if I need.
You
to.
would.
I'm
It's
sure.
not
Okay.
that. This is
Okay.
literally just a dive to get under it and making sure you're actually in
It's
the
a
right spot.
dex. What am I doing?
You said roll with advantage, so
But what am I rolling?
Dexterity check.
Dex check.
I'm
Okay.
letting you do it because you have way higher dex than me.
So that would have been a 13, and that would be a 21.
Okay. So between the two of you, as you both dive, it's like there's a little bit of a chance that you might bonk heads, and you're just like aware of that, but you're also both keeping your eyes up. And as you come together, it's that kind of like not perfect. There's a little bit of like armed,
Yeah.
but you're paying attention to this, and so that the bump and the pain of that doesn't distract you, and you both are there just in time to catch this really heavy falling weight. Thump.
Cheerleader.
You're gonna take 1d6. Let me check this falling damage. Maybe.
Okay, let me go in and delete 5 daggers
Okay.
from my inventory. You see this, right?
I knew what was on there because I had looked at it the other day to make sure that I had your perception levels right.
Oh god.
You both take 2 points of being smacked by a falling object damage.
Remove. Remove. Remove.
Delete.
Remove.
Delete.
You know,
Delete.
I don't know if it works on the daggers, but a lot of the things in D&D Beyond, you can actually just put a quantity number.
I did that, and then it just added 10 daggers.
Ooh, ouch.
I tried.
That's rough.
Yeah.
You get a counter for your
Hey.
key points after so many, but
At least you found a use for
points.
them, and if you choose to, you can go search out in the middle of the spider web infested woods and try to find the spares.
Yeah. I'm good.
But you catch this very quiescent load that just doesn't seem, just like it fell so limply. There's no reaction.
I'm gonna see if I can. I don't know how do we get them?
do you have more daggers that you don't care about?
Yeah.
Can you like try to cut her out? Because I'll get stuck.
I guess I'll take one and try to like start like just kind of going gingerly.
Do a sleight of hand check to see how well you're doing, and I'm going to use that also to figure out how much your dagger gets stuck into the mess.
16.
Okay. Yeah, this dagger is going to be ruined because even as you're like kind of like layering out, you can see the buildup of the gunk.
Yeah. I'm just gonna slice, like I'm gonna keep slicing until that one's stuck, and then I'm just gonna like and then get a fresh
Okay.
one.
So if you're trying to like kind of be efficient with time by like replacing as you go, you'll go through 2 or 3 daggers.
Do I need to roll
If
for
you're
it?
no,
Okay.
this is just what would happen because it would get gunky and
Right,
gross.
right.
But you're successful in your surgery.
Yeah.
And it just takes about an hour of very careful, painstaking work, but then you see the face of your friend.
Oh God, thank God. Okay.
Can I say that I've been preparing an unseen servant ritual during this?
Sure.
Okay.
You've had an hour to do it, so yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna say I cannot touch this. You cannot touch this either. Let this guy do it. I'm gonna summon my unseen servant to and tell him to start taking the web off of her because I don't think it can stick to him.
Okay.
And I'm also gonna summon a mage hand and make it help
So
because I like to make those two work together. I think it's funny.
so can both of you roll a stealth check again while you're
God.
going through this?
Oh, shit, there it goes. 6.
8.
As you begin the procedure, everything's going really well. You're getting into it, and you pull in the mage hand and the unseen servant, and then just kind of seeing this, it kind of brings a little bit of that relaxation to you as you're just like, we're making progress. We're actually getting to what we need to have happen. And it's funny because for the first time you can see the unseen servant because the web is sticking to it, and you're seeing a shape. And the shape keeps changing. It's more stickiness. It's just like, it's a web blob. It's now a web elemental. It's now a web mess.
At some point, I'm gonna be like, "See, invisible friend."
I didn't not believe you or anything. I just
And then this specter hand is also slowly globbed until it's a glob trying to shove aside. And then eventually the glob is sitting there in the corner trying to wipe itself off on a tree.
When it's doing that, I'm gonna like unsummon it and summon it because it's a cantrip, so I can.
And just like as it disappears and this glob to the ground, and just there's a bit of comedy to this that causes you to relax. And in that relaxed state, as you're sitting there with both of your passive perceptions, I think. But what is your passive? I know your passive perception is high enough.
It's 13. No.
down at the very bottom under senses.
Yeah, 13.
Yeah, even yours. You start hearing the birds stop. Then you hear skittering noises. And you hear a scream of pain. And then silence. Then more skittering noises. Your gun isn't glowing, but it's starting to warm up, and you can feel it starting to warm up.
We have to get out of here.
Okay.
Like how uncovered is Bonnie at this point?
I was just going to carry her to get the stuff off. So why don't we just go?
She's revealed enough you can.
I'm gonna fireman.
There's just like little bits
Yeah.
and pieces. You're gonna have some foliage that attaches itself to you with the stickiness.
That's fine. It'll be camouflage.
Okay, so you're both booking it out there. So roll a.
I'm gonna like.
You're trying to
follow our-
retrace the trail.
Yeah.
So what I want you to do is I want you to roll a survival check with advantage.
What's your survival?
+4.
Like one of us or both of us?
Both of you.
Oh, okay.
You if you can keep up with her. Her if she can track the trail.
30, 20.
14.
Okay. The two of you just kind of like it's not, it wasn't high DC, but
Right.
it was just like, as you're tracking the trail, how quickly are you actually able to move, and how much are you able to keep up?
Right.
Her being the tracker, you being the person trying to keep up with somebody who is trying to move quickly yet stealthily through the woods. And as you kind of move through, you are making really good time. You can hear the chittering kind of fade off into the background. And then as you're making your way through and you're kind of seeing those side trails that had been passed through before. It's a big question about whether or not these bandits or future bandits will be able to make it or not, and if they will be in the numbers that they were previously. This may be a new evolution in banditry. Those who survive the forest are probably going to be pretty epic bandits, but there's probably not going to be a ton of survivors. This forest is a little nuts, and it gets dark. The night settles in. You're still trekking your way out. You know you have about 3 hours worth of travel left. It's getting super dark. It's so hard to tell the time under this canopy, but it's almost pitch black out. Without your goggles, you would be blind, and he's starting to lose.
I mean, I would have put them.
He's starting to lose his way.
Do you want to just like camp here, or I don't?
Not really.
Okay, well
Do you
then,
light torches?
why don't we? I'll put my goggles on, and you just hold on to my tail, and we'll take it slow.
Hang on. I'm gonna take out some rope from my bag. I'm assuming I have rope in my bag. I guess I do.
Depends
Check
on. Well, you didn't do a dungeoneering kit to start, right?
that. Probably not. Oh, never mind. Take it all back. Don't have any rope.
You sure? It would be under your inventory. I mean, I do. I'm almost positive I do.
Hey, do you have any rope?
Have any rope, she says? You hear that? I'm not touching Larissa inappropriately. I'm petting her dog.
Yes, I do have rope.
So I'm gonna take her rope and just tie a loop around her, and then hold on to that, so I don't have to walk right up her business to follow her.
All right.
Like a 5-foot gap.
Yeah, so the darkness does make it a little difficult, and yet you're able to make your way, and pretty much as pre-dawn is arriving, you actually see the Fisher people leaving as you come to town. You arrive, and you are in town with your unconscious friend. I don't know where you're choosing to go.
We should go to the bookshop.
Yeah.
I am going to have a stop there with going to the bookshop, partly because I'm being licked to death by a puppy, but also because it's almost 10 o'clock. Thank you for watching with us. Hope you are willing to like, subscribe, ring the bell if you want to get updates about when we're about to go live.
Ding-a-ling. Make sure you support your local game shops, local theater, local artists.
Ring the bell.
You can check us out on demisecast.com.
Bye.
Have good weeks, friends.